The importance of sleep. It was a serene evening in the cozy suburban town where Demi lived. The sun had dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink. As the last remnants of daylight slowly faded, Demi found herself nestled comfortably in her favorite armchair, a warm mug of chamomile tea in hand. Demi was a bright and curious teenager, always eager to learn and explore the world around her. But as the demands of school, extracurricular activities, and social life began to pile up, she often found herself sacrificing her precious sleep, staying up late into the night to finish assignments or catch up with friends online. Tonight, however, Demi had resolved to make a change. Inspired by a recent conversation with her grandmother, she had decided to embark on a journey to better understand the importance of sleep and its profound impact on her overall well-being. As the evening shadows deepened, Demi took a sip of her tea and let her mind wander. She couldn't help but reflect on the many times her grandmother had gently urged her to prioritize her sleep, often sharing stories of her own experiences and the lessons she had learned over the years. Sensing Demi's contemplative mood, Grandma Eliza stepped into the living room, a warm smile on her face. "You look deep in thought, my dear," she said softly, settling into the chair next to Demi's. "Care to share what's on your mind?" Demi smiled back at her grandmother, grateful for her comforting presence. "Grandma, I've been thinking a lot about sleep lately. You've always emphasized how important it is, but I've been struggling to make it a priority in my life. I feel like I'm constantly running on empty, and it's starting to take a toll on me." Grandma Eliza nodded empathetically, her eyes filled with understanding. "Sleep is such a vital part of our well-being, Demi, and it's easy to overlook its significance in our busy lives. But I'm so glad you're taking the time to reflect on this now. Tell me, what have you been learning about the importance of sleep?" Demi took a deep breath, eager to share her newfound insights. "Well, I've been doing some research, and it's amazing how much sleep affects our physical and mental health. Lack of sleep can lead to all sorts of problems, from difficulty concentrating and mood swings to an increased risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes." Grandma Eliza nodded, her eyes crinkling with wisdom. "You're absolutely right, my dear. Sleep is not just a luxury, but a fundamental necessity for our bodies and minds to function at their best. It's during those precious hours of rest that our bodies have the chance to repair and rejuvenate, while our brains consolidate memories and process the events of the day." Demi leaned forward, her interest piqued. "I know you've always emphasized the importance of sleep, Grandma. Can you tell me more about your own experiences and the lessons you've learned over the years?" Grandma Eliza chuckled softly, her expression warm and inviting. "Of course, my dear. Sleep has been a constant companion throughout my life, and I've come to appreciate its many wonders. Let me tell you a story that I hope will inspire you to make sleep a priority in your own life." Demi settled back into her chair, ready to listen intently as her grandmother began to weave her tale. "It all started when I was just a young girl, growing up on a small farm in the countryside. Life was simple, but it was filled with hard work and the joys of being surrounded by nature. Even as a child, I understood the importance of a good night's sleep. After a long day of tending to the animals and helping in the fields, I would eagerly await the moment when I could crawl into my cozy bed and let the Sandmen whisk me away to dreamland." Demi smiled, imagining her grandmother as a young girl, her mind filled with the wonder and innocence of childhood. "As I grew older, I learned that sleep wasn't just about rest and relaxation. It was a vital component of my overall health and well-being. During those formative years, I noticed how a good night's sleep would leave me feeling refreshed, energized, and better able to tackle the challenges of the day. On the other hand, when I didn't get enough sleep, would struggle with fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. Grandma Eliza paused, her eyes taking on a wistful expression. It was during my teenage years that I really began to appreciate the power of sleep. Like you, Demi, I often found myself sacrificing my sleep in order to keep up with the demands of school, extracurricular activities, and a bustling social life. But I quickly learned that this was not a sustainable approach. Demi nodded in understanding, recognizing her own struggles in her grandmother's words. One night, after a particularly grueling week, I found myself tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. I was overwhelmed, stressed, and increasingly frustrated. That's when my grandmother, your great-grandmother, sat me down and had a heart-to-heart conversation with me. Grandma Eliza's eyes sparkled with the memory, and Demi leaned in, captivated by the story. She told me that sleep wasn't just a luxury, but a necessity, a vital part of maintaining our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. She shared stories of her own experiences, how she had learned to prioritize sleep throughout her life, and the profound impact it had on her overall health and happiness. Demi listened intently, her own experiences resonating with her grandmother's words. From that day on, I made a conscious effort to develop healthy sleep habits. I set a consistent bedtime routine, limited my screen time before bed, and made sure to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. It wasn't always easy, but I soon began to notice the benefits. My mood improved, my energy levels soared, and I found that I was better able to focus and retain information. Grandma Eliza reached out and gently squeezed Demi's hand. And that, my dear, is the lesson I've learned over the course of my life, that sleep is not just a luxury, but a fundamental aspect of our well-being. It's a gift that we must cherish and prioritize, no matter how busy or demanding our lives may be. Demi felt a deep sense of appreciation for her grandmother's wisdom and experience. Thank you, Grandma, for sharing this story with me. It really resonates with the struggles I've been facing lately. I can see now how important it is to make sleep a priority, and I'm determined to make some changes in my own life. Grandma Eliza smiled warmly. I'm so glad to hear that, Demi. Remember, developing healthy sleep habits takes time and patience, but the benefits are truly transformative. And you don't have to do it alone. I'm always here to support you and share more of my experiences if you ever need it. Demi nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. I'd love to hear more of your stories, Grandma. There's still so much for me to learn about the wonders of sleep and how it can enrich our lives. Grandma Eliza chuckled, her eyes twinkling with delight. Well, in that case, let me tell you about the time I went on a voyage to the land of Nod and encountered the most extraordinary dream catchers. And so, Demi and her grandmother embarked on a captivating journey, sharing stories and insights that would forever change Demi's perspective on the importance of sleep. As the night wore on, Demi found herself mesmerized by her grandmother's tales, each one more enchanting than the last. One story in particular stood out, a tale of a young girl who had struggled with insomnia for years, only to discover the transformative power of meditation and mindfulness before bed. Demi listened with rapt attention as her grandmother described the girl's journey, how she had learned to quiet her restless mind and create a sanctuary of peace and tranquility in her own bedroom. "You see, Demi," Grandma Eliza said, her voice soft and gentle, "sleep is not just about closing our eyes and drifting off. It's about creating an environment that nourishes our mind, body, and spirit. It's about cultivating rituals and practices that help us transition from the bustle of the day to the serene stillness of the night." Demi nodded.